Okay, so without a doubt, this episode of Dragon Ball Super was by far, it had the worst animation of, all the episodes that have come out yet, and there are some legit reasons behind that, and it has a lot to do with the animators as such, and Toei themselves, because they have, I guess, really low budgets, and they can't, get access to, I guess, really high, high production value animators and such, because, look, I'm just gonna read this, that one of the animators posted on their Twitter, and I'm gonna have him, I'm gonna have him linked in the description below. So yeah, what he pretty much said is, some people, like the animation producers, the director, or some designers and production assistants, get a salary during all the production process, so the schedules are kept short to limit the global production cost. But most of the animation staff are freelancers, which is bad, so the cost of having everybody working in-house would be unbearable. Only one studio was able to do that, which was Studio Ghibli. But the problem is not that the studios are greedy. The Japanese animation studios are small companies struggling with the budgets allowed by their clients. They are not right holders. They usually do not make large benefits and are not in position to invest their own money into the IP they sometimes create. So they don't have very high, I guess, production people working on this stuff, and most of them are freelancers, which is bad, which is why it would explain why most of episode 5 looked terrible. You can say that episode 1 looked really nice, but I do believe that they had more time to work on that episode, because, I do think they had more time to work on that. Many people are thinking that the only reason the animation looked bad was because of most of the action sequences occurring in this episode, and if that is the case, it's also really bad, because, we have a bunch of upcoming, fighting episodes. So we're gonna have Vegeta going up against Beerus, we're gonna have everybody, go up against Beerus, and then we have the major fight of Super Saiyan God Goku going up against Beerus, and if that, animation is butchered, I'm gonna be pretty, pissed off. So the next frame is, the budgets in Japan for animation are extremely low. In the 60s, to succeed in his crazy idea to produce weekly animated shows, Osamu Tezuka asked the animators to make a lot of sacrifices, work very, very hard for a low pay. Now, the same standards are still here 50 years later, which is terrible. The conditions that these people have to work in is really depressing if you think about it. So on a TV series production, an animator is usually only paid around $40 to animated one cut from layout to keyframes. In-betweeners get only around $2 per drawing. To make a living out of it, animators need to work fast and cannot afford to work exclusively on one show. The large part of animators are freelancers who work for several studios at the same time, which explains why, Toei makes a lot of, Toei works on a lot of animations for anime, obviously, so these same people have to go around and, get around all these, deadlines as such, and they need to work really fast to make it, and it's absolutely crazy. So the problem is that the Japanese anime industry is now producing too much content at an incredibly fast pace. There are not enough skilled and experienced animators here to supervise the productions and teach young animators. The studio have no other choice but to work with poorly skilled animators, sometimes amateurs who only do that as a hobby. They also have no other choice but to outsource tasks in other countries, not to limit the cost but to deliver the episode on time. Again, does it not scare you that episode 5 may have been produced just a few hours before it was released? Can you imagine the amount of stress these people have to go through to deliver this? Because it's not just about the animation and to have something for people to watch. It's also about, their pay, and essentially they have to, make a living out of this. So not only is this job incredibly stressful, they have to work on this a lot, and it's insane, and it's scary, man. I feel so bad for these people. The amount of stress they have to go through, and they can't do anything about it, So everybody in the industry is incredibly busy all the time, especially skilled staff. But even mediocre animators are requested on a regular basis, and it's pretty common that nobody will work on your show until the very last moment, because they're already struggling with their deadlines and other productions. Now think about that. That is terrifying, honestly, because, like I said, just, few minutes ago. Obviously, you know, having people work on your show the last before its air is terrifying. Jesus Christ. So in the current situation, it's also common to hear people speaking of miracle when an episode is broadcasted on time. Sometimes the animations only started 2 weeks before airing, and episodes can be completed only a few hours before being shown on TV. Again, that is exactly what I said before. The quality can be poor, but what matters the most is to have something to put on the screen. That is, like I said, these people deal with so much stress, man. Like, I'm not here to say, oh, this animation is excusable, it's okay because these people work under deadlines. It's not okay, but, you know, the conditions these people work in is just disgusting, honestly. It's depressing, but there is hope. Hopefully the Blu-ray version, you know, is actually fixed, because on the screen right now you can see some, obviously, anime. You could see the online version and the Blu-ray version, and they look way better in terms of quality as such, and the same could possibly happen for Dragonball Super. Hopefully it does happen. The animation doesn't look terrible on Blu-ray, because I plan on buying the Blu-ray editions of Dragonball Super as well as Resurrection F and Battle of Gods. But if it looks terrible on Blu-ray, then it would honestly be a waste of money. Although for the episode 5, I really did enjoy the, you know, OST in the background. The background music fit really well with the action scenes, although it really hurt my eyes seeing these fights. There's bad animation, guys, and then there's episode 5 of Dragon Ball Super. Dragon Ball Super looked really bad, and I'm not exaggerating here. I'm pretty sure you could see a bunch of screenshots on the screen that I've shown you already of how bad this animation was. Sure, the original Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z obviously had animation drops as well, but I'm pretty sure we've never seen an episode that was as badly animated as this. I think that there are multiple studios working on Dragon Ball Super, which is, it can kind of be a good thing and a bad thing, because we've already seen a bunch of, you know, drops in animation throughout episodes. We've seen that really heavily outlined, you know, episode. I'm pretty sure that was episode 4 with Pilaf being heavily outlined, and I don't know, man. If the quality keeps jumping up and down, it's going to be really bad, because honestly, episode 5 did have some really, you know, I guess pretty moments. It looked really nice at some parts, but most of the episode looked pretty bad, honestly, and I couldn't take Beerus seriously, man, because it just looked like, I don't know, man, it just looked terrible. Man, if this continues on throughout episode 6, 7, 8, and 9, I don't know what I'm gonna do, because I'm just not gonna get my hopes up, and, you know, I really wish that these animators didn't have to work in such terrible conditions, and they didn't have so much stress. It sucks, guys. It honestly really sucks for them. But, you know, hopefully this animation gets better in the future episodes and in the long run, because episode 5 was trash in terms of animation, but it was good in terms of, you know, the background music, like I said. And, you know, it gave a heavy atmosphere, I guess. Beerus seemed really villainous, and it was good. But the animation, like I said, is terrible. I know I keep repeating myself, but there isn't much to say about episode 5 except that it looked terrible, and that these animators are just, you know, they have to work in these horrible conditions and they have to hire freelancers as well to work on animation, and I'm pretty sure some of these freelancers had to work on Dragon Ball Super, which is why it looks pretty bad at some stages. So yeah, I want to hear your thoughts on what you guys thought of the animation, and, you know, if you guys think it's going to improve in the future episodes and the Blu-ray edition of Dragon Ball Super, if that even comes out. And it should come out, because a bunch of anime get the Blu-ray, you know, editions and all that stuff. So just tell me in the comment section below. I'm sorry if I sound a bit different. I am really sick and I didn't even go to class today. So yeah, my name's iVoltGaming. I'll see you guys in the next video. And if you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe and give it a like, as well as share this video. It would help me out greatly. And yeah, my name's iVoltGaming, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys, have an epic day.